nuance, and I am back for another episode of TRO, y'all. So on the last episode, I just want to let y'all know y'all should have tuned in. If you didn't, check out the YouTube because it went down. It went down here on TRO. It was talked about a real estate fraud. You know, it's the holiday season, and we need to be on the lookout for fraud. Okay? Now we're going to start another year, and my brother, Jermaine Anderson came by, and he put us up on game about some real estate fraud, y'all. I need y'all to check out that episode. Real estate fraud and rental property scams here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. And for whatever reason, the news hasn't picked it up. But guess who picked it up? TRO did. So y'all make sure y'all check in with that episode. Subscribe, like, comment, show the page some love. You know what I'm saying? Show the page some love and show us some love. I just love coming here and giving the community what they need. Alright, so episode 9, special guest Jermaine Anderson. Guess who is on that last episode talking about real estate fraud and real property scams and how renters are being taken advantage of and not giving advice. He gave advice on some of the things that you can look out for. So head on over to that episode and check it out. On today's episode entitled Grief, When Youth and Sorrow Collide, we will be talking about the different forms of grief that I've gone through. We will be talking about different forms of grief that some of you guys may not know about. We're going to be talking about some definitions of grief, and I'm going to be talking about my own personal experience with grief. Also, remember, I am not a medical professional. You all, none of us are. So all the information that I'm going to be talking about on today's episode, I'm just letting you know right now I am not a medical professional. If you are experiencing grief or you are experiencing deep sorrow, depression, or any kind of mental illness, please go and seek help from a medical professional. We're not giving out advice. This is no type of advice. This is just strictly experience. So I just want to make sure that that's clear before I continue the episode. Let's just dive into the definition of grief. My own personal definition of what I thought grief was before I actually looked up grief was just experiencing deep sorrow from losing a loved one, and just kind of wallowing. And as you can see, I have my bonnet on, you guys. This bonnet, and me having it on like this is how I breathe. You know what I'm saying? I breathe very comfortably. Now, we are going to be talking about different types of grief and things like that, but I've been through 2 forms of grief that I'm going to be talking about on this episode, and what I can remember as far as like my aesthetic and how I was looking, granted I did not have my earrings on and things like that, but I was wearing my bonnet. I was very comfortable. I was wearing my bonnet. I kept it on. I would wear it to the grocery store. I would wear it going out to eat. I would have my bonnet on. My bonnet was kind of like my safe blanket, I guess you would say now. A lot of people would say that that's not classy or unclassy or whatever like that, but here's the thing about your person is that, no one has to understand my feelings or know why I want to walk around comfortable. People are allowed to dislike bondage. They're allowed to dislike bondage. They are allowed to not understand what a person is going through, but they are not allowed to disrespect me. We're not allowed to disrespect other people. We are not allowed to treat other people like they are not human beings simply because of what they have on their skin. I'm sorry, we're just judgmental and be a butthole to people. You can, but you can also experience the repercussions of doing that, of being a butthole to people. We don't know what people are going through. This is the holiday season, and this is the perfect topic to be talking about. Because young people go through deep grief. Children go through grief. Children can be depressed. Children can have deep sorrow. I'm sorry, I know a lot of us think that children are oblivious to life, but to be honest with you, children know way more than what we give them credit for. Because before children came into the world, came to earth, they came from the spirit realm somewhere. And they were closer to God than we could have ever been in that moment. So, yeah, this is why it's entitled Grief When Youth and Sorrow Collide. Because a lot of us have experienced deep sorrow and deep grief, but for whatever reason, we were made to believe that only organs can be damaged or whatever. Only our liver and kidneys and you know our limbs can be damaged. But not our brains. No, our brains, our brain is an organ. Our brain, for whatever reason, society thinks that our brains cannot suffer, cannot experience suffering. For whatever reason, our society feels like our brains, our skulls, the organ that's inside of our skull, cannot be damaged, cannot experience any type of harm. But our kidneys can, but our lungs can, but our intestines can, but our anus can, but our skin can, but our bones can, but our elbows can, but not the brain. How does that sound? How does that sound? Every organ in the body can experience a disease, an illness, but not our brain? Make it make sense in the comments. I need the people in the comments to make that make sense to me. Because us ignoring mental health in 2022, we tired of it. Christians and religious people and atheists and doctors. Yeah, I'm talking about doctors, because there's some doctors who don't believe that people that look like me can suffer from mental illness. Yeah, I'm getting on y'all too. The same people that love Jesus and love God, that y'all too, y'all don't believe in mental illness. It exists, it's happening. Yes, your brain, which is an organ, can experience harm, can experience disease, can be malfunctioned. Yes, your brain, which is an organ, just like your kidneys, just like your heart. I don't have to be a medical professional to know this. I've experienced it, along with everybody else that try to pretend like they don't experience mental health issues. Now, I'm gonna get back to here, because grief is something that is happening to our youth, and it's not being taken seriously. I'm 29 years old, and I have suffered from mental health issues since I was 12 years old. And between 12 years old until I became an adult at 18, I was ignored by people in the church, by people in the healthcare, by my family. People who's supposed to love God and love God's creation ignored me, because they thought that an organ inside of my skull was incapable of not performing to its maximum ability. Somebody told them that, and they believed it. Somebody told us that our brain could not experience mental health issues, and some of us believed it. And some of us walking around with depression ignored because somebody told us that our brain cannot experience illness. And we believe them. So let me move on. Because I had to stay on y'all neck on that one. Because it's 2022. We didn't went through COVID, still going through COVID. We have lost people. We have experienced so much grief. And we need to start taking grief seriously because we need to be there for each other. If you guys have been paying attention to the podcast, we have been talking about community and how important community is. We are not just up here saying anything, y'all. We are really sitting here doing homework. We do our homework. We do our homework. We do our homework. We shout out to Poetic X right here. You know, we do our, thank you for mentoring us. We do our homework. Community is important. All right, so I'm about to start talking about the different definitions of grief. Okay, so let me see here, some definitions. All right, so Oxford defines grief as such: deep sorrow, especially that's caused by someone's death. That's a type of grief that we're all familiar with. Death is inevitable. We're going to eventually experience that form of grief. The Mayo Clinic says grief is a strong, sometimes overwhelming emotion for people, regardless of whether their sadness stems from the loss of a loved one or from a terminal diagnosis they or someone they love have received. All right. BetterUp.com says grief is experienced in the face of loss, especially losses that help form your identity. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. This is too awesome. A moth. I think this is a moth. What is this? I don't know, but this is God speaking. I don't know what this represents, but he's going to join our podcast. He must be grieving. He must be grieving. He grieving? He's gone. I just love insects. He did scare me at first, so I ain't gonna lie. I love insects. We can, sorry, that just threw me off. But, so yeah, BetterUp.com says grief is experienced in the face of loss, especially loss that helps form your identity, you guys. Identity. That's how important grief is. Because this subject matter is it goes so far deep, and it can manifest into a lot of different things. Let me finish with the definition. Though it is the most commonly felt, listen to this, grief does not need to be caused solely by the death of a loved one. Let me repeat that. Grief does not need to be caused solely by the death of a loved one, y'all. You can experience grief from other forms. Let me continue reading. It can be triggered by any event that involves an identity-altering type of loss. Do you guys know what it feels like to physically have your mind altered? Yes, you do. Because guess what? A lot of youth go through psychosis. And we pass by them every day. They go through psychosis in the brain. They just where they don't know who they are. And we pass by them every day, and a lot of y'all talk crap about them. A lot of y'all point fingers at them and laugh at them. A lot of y'all gossip about them. Yeah. Let me keep going. This can include living through a natural disaster, a divorce, one's own illness, loss of a loved one, and certainly the death of a family member. Did you guys know that it was different stages of grief? We're going to talk about the different stages of grief. Okay? The first stage that we're going to experience is denial. Denial. Okay, what they have here is denial is the first of the 5 stages of grief. It helps us to survive the loss. It helps us to survive the loss. The loss can be so mind-boggling, so altering. Our minds have to go into denial in order to survive, y'all. It has to go through a whole process, y'all. And the first stage is denial. Like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe my so-and-so got shot. Can't believe so-and-so got killed. Can't believe it. Okay? Life makes no sense. We are in a state of shock and denial. We go numb. We go numb, which is true. When I lost my mom, y'all, let me tell y'all something. It felt like I got hit by a train. And I bet y'all thinking, what is a train? How does she know what getting hit by a train feels like? I don't. That's the best way I could have described the pain. The second stage is anger. The second stage is anger. It says anger is a necessary stage of the healing process. It's a necessary stage. A necessary stage is anger, which means that you need to be allowing people to be human beings. That means the child, the teenager that's going through it, yeah. Because I know we try to make children suppress feelings. No, let them be angry if they're going through, if they done lost something. Let them be angry. Because anger is a necessary stage of healing. Be willing to feel your anger, even though it may seem endless. And let me tell you something. Have a better relationship with anger. When I'm angry, I go to this. This is called a journal. This is called a journal, my journal. And when I'm angry, I don't go and pick up a gun and start randomly shooting nowhere. I don't beat on my chest and hit. I don't go around beating on my chest and hitting on people that don't deserve it. I get my pen or my pencil and I hit on this paper with my thoughts, with my feelings, and I cry. See this book by Poetic X, Poetry Book Volume 2, X? That's why you don't never see him on the news for doing something bad. You know why? He put his anger in the book. Poetry book, amazing poems in here. You know what else? Making hoodies and t-shirts. You know what else I do? Painting. So have a better relationship with anger. Number 3 is bargaining. Let's see what they say about that. I'm lost on that one. Before a loss, it seems like you will do anything if only your loved one would spare. Please, God, you bargain. I will never be angry at my wife again if you'll just let her live. Okay, I get it now. So you make bargains. You try to, and that's so true. That's so true, because I remember myself doing that. Bargaining. You're making bargains. You asking God, I promise I'll stop smoking weed. I promise I'll stop going to the strip club. I promise I'll stop not paying my traffic violations, whatever. If you just bring that person back. Yes, we can laugh. This is a serious topic, but we can laugh because, that's another way that I deal with my grief. I laugh. And another thing, there was I'm gonna get to that later after I get through these stages. I gotta bring up this video of some black people grieving and how Now, the third stage is, what do y'all think the third stage is in the comment section? What do you think the third stage is? Because it's something that we all experience, but we've been taught to ignore it, sweep it under the rug. We've been taught to not talk about it. It's depression. Depression. Yes, it's depression. Yes. Yes to that. I know a lot of y'all don't believe in it, but if you want to hear a lie, go to CNN website. If you want to hear a lie. Go to the government website if you want to hear a lie. But depression is real. And it happens. And guess what else? Little children go through it. And guess what else? People ignore kids when they go through depression because they feel like they don't have nothing to be depressed about. Really? Kids don't have nothing to be depressed about? Kids really don't have nothing to be depressed about. So you mean to tell me kids don't experience depression and anxiety? I'm not even gonna go there with y'all. I ain't finna go there with y'all because y'all know better. I ain't even finna, kids experience depression. They do. I ain't finna go there with y'all. And lastly, can we guess what the last stage is in the comment section? And this is a very uplifting stage. It's acceptance. Acceptance is often confused with notion of being all right, okay, with what has happened. This is not the case. Most people don't ever feel okay or all right about the loss of a loved one. This stage is about accepting the reality that our loved one is physically gone and recognizing that this new reality is a permanent reality. We will never like this reality or make it okay, but eventually we will accept it. And that's just the truth of the matter. And this can go with a lot of different stuff. We're going to have to accept things whether we like it or not, y'all. And death is inevitable. And it's going to happen. And we need to have a better relationship with the loss of something. Do you hear the trees crying and do you hear the trees complaining that they have to get new leaves or the leaves are falling? I'm not. And sorry, I felt like I was very insensitive in the way I said that. I'm not trying to say that you need to just suck it up and move on with life. I'm not trying to be insensitive like that. What I am saying is that it's natural. Grieving is natural. Mourning a loss is natural. It's just a natural thing that happens, and we have to accept the fact that it's natural. We have to have a better relationship with grief. We need to have a better relationship with loss. We have to recognize that we do not own anything, y'all. We don't even own these bodies.